Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Libra, it's for you. Remember, they're general readings. Use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you, and if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit the subscribe button. For your key to the week this week, you have the World card, right? So in this deck, it's actually called the Universe. Beautiful deck, by the way. It's the Fluellen deck. Absolutely love these. They're based on all of the Celtic and mostly sort of the Welsh Celtic myths, but I absolutely love them. It's one of the very first decks that I ever bought for myself, and I remember being like, ooh, I'm really excited about it, and I've still got it, like, this is nearly a decade later. So yeah, anyway, no, it's longer than a decade I've had this deck. It's got to be about 12 years at this point. And this is one of those ones, like a lot of decks I've retired over the years. I won't retire this one. I just won't. There's too much sentimental value in it. Anyway, I'm rambling now. But the World card, right? This is the level up. This is the graduation. This is where you go to that next level, where you reach the next step, where you go onto those brand new plateaus in all of these different areas of life. This isn't about breakthroughs. You've already done the hard work. This is, you have arrived, darling, right? You are here. You're in the room. For your actions and options, you've got the Six of Wands. Look, if you are taking any form of test, right, before we even get to the academics, if you're taking any form of a test, whether this is a driving test, if you are taking any form of exam, you are going to pass with flying colors, right? If the World card or the Universe card in this deck is called the level up, right, or the graduation card, this with the Six of Wands, which is literally victory and success, you pass with flying colors. I've got very good news for you. This is wonderful. What this also tells us is that the options that are available to you this week are to celebrate your wins, right? And I cannot stress this enough. We are all, myself included, guilty of this. We do not celebrate our small wins enough. And the truth of the matter is, your small wins equate to the big ones, right? In that long term, that is really how you get there. I love this. I absolutely love this, especially because it has an element of you seeing the results of all of the hard work that you've put in, the time, the effort, the dedication. Now you are seeing it come through, right? Love this for you. Then you've got the Ace of Pentacles with your communications and conversations. Look, this is a fresh start, right? This is a fresh start. It's a new location. It is new jobs, new contracts, all of those things coming in, but of a financial nature. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, your studies, whatever you're studying, whatever you skills, knowledge, etc. you have, they immediately convert into resources, right? Love this for you. If you are employed by somebody else, especially for those of you that have been job hunting or taking interviews, this says that not only do you ace your interview, but you get a new job, right? Like this week you will be starting new jobs, new responsibilities. If you're staying in the same job, there's going to be some moment of graduation. Your boss comes to you and acknowledges something that you've done. You get some kind of maybe not accolade, but you definitely get some sort of practical, it's going to feel like, you know what, this is a landmark moment. All right. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, if you're just moving into a new premises, if you are, just decided, maybe you've just set up your own home office, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, and it feels good. It really feels aligned. And you start smashing it out of the park before you even know it. You've got really great clients coming in. Maybe you are moving your business into an official office or a workspace of some sort. This bodes very well. What it also tells us is that you are forging connections this week. You're making partnerships, connections, and collaborations that are going to lead to more money, honey. Okay, so I'm here for this. I love this for you. When it comes to your home, When it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, your Ace of Pentacles is you bringing something out of retirement. Maybe not necessarily to go back to work, but there's some skill, some hobby, maybe even for some of you that you're bringing. It's like you're dusting it back off and bringing it back out into the world. For your love and relations, you've got the Devil card. Okay, so look. I don't really know how to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitment, it is possible that things are going so well for you. It is possible that maybe they're not going as well for your partner, and there's a little bit of the sour grapes, right? There's a little bit of that green-eyed monster, right? Providing you talk it out and you kind of, say to them, look, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I can give you a really good example about this. The relationship prior to the last one that I had, I was in a relationship with someone. It was not a good relationship, not for either of us, right? I had too much stuff that I was working through at the time, and this person was just not good for me. And I remember, like, I used to say, like, oh, when I've got this, or when I've done this, and da-da-da-da, like, this is how it's going to go, and this is how it's going to be. And there was always, like, this air of sort of sour, like they could never just be happy for me, right? And I know why. It's because in his mind, it was like as soon as I'd reached my success point, I was going to leave him. That was never the case, right? I can assure you that was never the case. I left him in the end because it was a very toxic relationship for both of us, right? And the sad part about it is you shouldn't have to placate your partner to say, look, I'm not forgetting you, I'm not going anywhere, like we're still going to be us, we're sticking together, you just need to, like your time will come. And it's not guaranteed, there might be an element of this week, all right? If that is the case and you want to stay in your partnership and you want to stay in your marriage and you don't want it to be a problem, find a way to just give them a pat on the shoulder and say, look, this is my moment because this is coming from my hard work. Yours will come, all right? For those of you that are single and looking, I got to be honest with you, this is like the bad boy, the bad girl, the bad person, right? They're fun, they're a little bit trashy, they're a little bit dangerous. They excite you, it's sexy, it's fun, it's enjoyable. It's all of those things. It is not for the long term. This is somebody that is going to excite your bones. They're going to do all of that. Quite frankly, you will end up footing the bill a lot of the time. All right. So I just want to say, like, this is kind of like it's a fling, right? It's something that's going to excite you and all the rest of it. Don't get locked into this. Okay. For your money and materials, you've got the King of Wands. So it's really a lot of what's happening this week is so wonderful, but the message here is that you must be able to convert all of these good things into visibility. The sooner you're able to do that, the better your financial standing is going to be. That King of Wands this week, do not be afraid to speak up about what makes you so great. All right, like you gotta, if you got it, flaunt it. You gotta flaunt it a little bit, right? This week you have to let these bitches know, all right, who you are. You got to show up. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I love this card for physical health and vitality because it's like we've got the mojo, right? Our energy is back. We feel good. We feel sort of like ready for it. We're ready to face everything head on. I love the King of Wands for health. And with the Universe card or the World card, if you have a physical hobby, or like, let's say you go running or hiking, let's say you take gymnastics or you go to a dance class or whatever it is, this week you're going to see all of the results of that hard work, right? So as an example, it's like, when I'm going to tell you this story. I will know, if you've been with me long enough, I maybe don't look like it, but I love spin, right? Spin classes, that is my shit, right? I love it. I absolutely love that 45-minute adrenaline pumping. Like, I love spin class. It's like one of my favorite things to do, right? But what everybody doesn't probably know is I'm actually asthmatic. I've been asthmatic since I was 6 months old. And the first time The first time I ever took a spin class, I was bigger than I am now, right? Like I was really overweight. I was very unhappy. Blah, 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 blah. Sub story, sub story, sub story. Anyway, right, so I go to this class. It was like a beginner's spin class. So I was like, okay, so, I'm going to ease myself in. I've never done one before, so I just want to test the waters and see, right? It was a 20-minute spin class, beginner's spin class. So I was like, it's a beginner's class. I'm going to be all right, right? And the instructor was like, and I was like, okay, that's a red flag straight away. So anyway, I kid you not, right? I shit you not. 12 minutes we get into the class, right? And at this point when I say I was laboring to breathe, you could hear me, right? And I remember my whole thought process at that time was, oh my God, I'm going to be that guy who literally died in the class. And obviously, when somebody passes away very suddenly, they empty themselves, right? And I was like, I'm going to be that guy who literally died on the spin class, hit the floor and peed himself in front of everybody. Like that is what's going to happen to me, right? So this is at 12 minutes. About the 15-minute mark, my endorphins and all of the, oh, okay, this is good, all started to kick in. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm not going to die. But I kid you not, that was like my whole thought process throughout this. The reason I'm telling you this really random, funny story is because this week you're going to have a breakthrough, something that you've really worked hard on. A hobby, a skill, a fitness, maybe you've been hitting the weights or whatever and it's just felt really hard. This week you will have that moment where it's like, fuck yeah, I've got this and I've done it. You will have like that moment. So this is really great for you. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, this I actually think is not necessarily fortifying the boundaries of the home. I think this to you, wherever or whoever you live with, you are commanding the space this week, right? You're kind of deciding this is how things are going to go from here on in, all right? With that said, I think this is going to be a great week for you guys. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care. I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff, and I will see you soon.